loves you, Iowa. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee does. It's closeout time at Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee.
Get up to 17% of MSRP cash back on select new 21 models. Over 50 new Equinox and Traverse. Early lease termination program for Chevy owners, whether you bought your Chevy from us or not. Click, call, or stop in.
Who loves you, Iowa? Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee does. WaukeeChevy.com.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Hi, I'm Joe the Car Guy with Westside Auto. I'm excited to tell you about our new lifetime oil change plan. When you purchase our plan, you'll never have to pay for an oil change again. If you get a different car, simply transfer the plan over. If that car's oil needs are different than your original plan, just pay the difference. It couldn't be simpler. You won't have to worry about inflation or prices going up. Give us a call at Westside Auto Pros to get details on the lifetime oil change plan. And remember, when I say lifetime, I mean your lifetime, not just your car's.
35 years in the automotive industry, I had the opportunity to build on the American dream, just like Henry Ford did over 100 years ago.
Introducing the all-new DeArmond Ford Indianola.
Like Ford Motor Company, we're a family-led business guided by our core values of hard work, trust, honesty, and integrity.
People drive to Indianola to buy Fords.
The all-new DeArmond Ford, DeArmondFord.com.
Built for America, sold by DeArmond Ford Indianola.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at Mid-American Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
It's a great day for soccer here in West Des Moines, Iowa. My name is Eric Zamora, bringing for you CIML Matchup. It's a varsity girls action tonight with the Urbandale Jayhawks coming in with a record of 1-1, taking on the Tigers of Valley High School with a record of 3-1. We'll come back in a matter of moments with your pregame show. You're watching girls soccer action on CISN.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Central Bank opened its doors in 1877 and has been proud to call Iowa home ever since. For more than a century, our family-owned business has worked hand-in-hand with friends and neighbors across the state to make their dreams a reality. Come visit us at our new location on Hickman and Waukee and see how Central Bank can make it happen for you.
Hi, atop the press box here at Valley High School in West Des Moines, Iowa. We're seeing warm-ups with the Urbandale Jayhawks coming in with a record of 1-1, taking on the Valley Tigers coming in with a record of 3-1 early in the 2021 season, but I can tell you right now, we're just thrilled that we're able to have a high school season. Obviously, the last year and change has been a little bit difficult, and teams have been finding ways to adjust to it, and certainly we will as well. We appreciate you tuning in on CISN.TV. My name's Eric Zamora. I apologize in advance if I end up using any terms. I'm coming off of broadcasting primarily Des Moines Buccaneer hockey as of late, but a sport that I fell in love with growing up playing high school soccer in Germany, and thrilled to be here on the pitch as we are about to get set. We do have a couple of players for you to watch out for, and we'll start with the visitors. Gracie Marks, number 12, a senior. Obviously, most of these players are pretty fluid as far as where they'll play on the field. And Marks, no exception, listed as both a forward and a midfielder through just 2 games in which they were victorious and tasted defeat. They knocked off Des Moines East 10-0, fell to Johnston by a score of 2-0. And in those 2 games, Gracie Marks with 6 shots on goal and 4 goals against the Des Moines East Scarlets. Meanwhile, on the other side, keep an eye out for number 4. Anna Van Weingarten is a junior striker, and through 4 games, now obviously a little bit more on her resume simply because she's had more of an opportunity to flex her muscle here in the 2021 season. The junior with 7 goals and an assist. In soccer, awarded 2 points for a goal, 1 for an assist, so 15 points in the 2021 season. 18 shots on goal, averaging over 4 a game, 4.5 to be exact, and certainly those 2 are big names to keep an eye out for here as we get underway. We will take another timeout, and we will be back with more girls high school soccer action on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
35 years in the automotive industry, I had the opportunity to build on the American dream, just like Henry Ford did over 100 years ago.
Introducing the all-new DeArmond Ford Indianola.
Like Ford Motor Company, we're a family-led business guided by our core values of hard work, trust, honesty, and integrity.
People drive to Indianola to buy Fords.
The all-new DeArmond Ford, DeArmondFord.com.
Built for America, sold by DeArmond Ford Indianola.
Hi, I'm Joe the Car Guy with Westside Auto. I'm excited to tell you about our new lifetime oil change plan. When you purchase our plan, you'll never have to pay for an oil change again. If you get a different car, simply transfer the plan over. If that car's oil needs are different than your original plan, just pay the difference. It couldn't be simpler. You won't have to worry about inflation or prices going up. Give us a call at Westside Auto Pros to get details on the lifetime oil change plan. And remember, when I say lifetime, I mean your lifetime, not just your car's.
Obsessively, relentlessly. That's what you can always expect, even when faced with the unexpected. It's a service we take seriously, providing comfort in the rain, tools to help you save, a helping hand along the way, and from a safe distance away. Delivering the energy you need while going the extra mile. Regardless of the times, our team remains committed to you.
Just over a minute left on the clock here in the pregame as the Valley Tigers hosting the Urbandale Jayhawks in girls high school varsity soccer action. We're hoping for a more competitive game than the initial game that we had. It was a 6-0 victory on the junior varsity level for the Valley Hawks. Excuse me, for the Valley Tigers. As the Tigers now starting to get ready for their introductions in the black jerseys with orange shoulders, orange numerals outlined in white, except for their netminder, a sophomore. Meanwhile, the Jayhawks of Urbandale in their white uniforms with blue numerals. The school colors navy blue with white and red for Urbandale, black and orange for the Valley Tigers. We'll go ahead and take a listen in to the PA announcer for the starting lineups.
The Jayhawks of Urbandale High School and your Valley Tigers. We congratulate the teams and coaches playing today. This game provides each of us an opportunity to demonstrate how much we appreciate their efforts and dedication. Together, you can all set the standard for good sportsmanship. Fans, just a reminder that face masks are required at all times and social distancing is expected. Restrooms for home fans are located underneath the bleachers, and visiting fans' restrooms are on the back side of the brick building. Concessions are open on the northwest corner of the facility as well. Now, let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visitors from Urbandale. First duo, Rebecca Truthler. Number 3, Hannah Eckhoff. Number 5, Kelsey Heller. Number 6, Riley Anderson. Number 7, Emma Johansson. Number 10, Isabel Doria. Number 11, Marley Pierce. Number 12, Gracie Marks. Number 14, Maria Long. Number 17, Kylie Loomley. And number 20, Taylor Mulligan. Now the starters for your Valley Tigers. Number 4, Anna Van Weingarten. Number 6, Katie Johnson. Number 8, Emma Thompson. Number 11, Emma Byrne. Number 14, Kristen Stein. Number 15, Brooklyn Botoff. Number 18, Zoe Ganter. Number 20, Mallory Goldstein. Number 21, Avery Galloway. Number 25, Anna Spain. And number 1, Lydia Anderson. Tonight's officials are Nihat Rahich, Jody Bourbon, and Eric Kochneff. At this time, we ask you to please rise and remove your headwear to honor the flag and those who serve to protect.
For 35 years in the automotive industry, I had the opportunity to build on the American dream, just like Henry Ford did over 100 years ago.
Introducing the all-new DeArmond Ford Indianola.
Like Ford Motor Company, we're a family-led business guided by our core values of hard work, trust, honesty, and integrity.
People drive to Indianola to buy Fords.
The all-new DeArmond Ford, DeArmondFord.com.
Built for America, sold by DeArmond Ford Indianola.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise, and your lights will go on. That's because at Mid-American Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, I'm Joe the Car Guy with Westside Auto. I'm excited to tell you about our new lifetime oil change plan. When you purchase our plan, you'll never have to pay for an oil change again. If you get a different car, simply transfer the plan over. If that car's oil needs are different than your original plan, just pay the difference. It couldn't be simpler. You won't have to worry about inflation or prices going up. Give us a call at Westside Auto Pros to get details on the lifetime oil change plan. And remember, when I say lifetime, I mean your lifetime, not just your car's.
Welcome back to girls varsity soccer action here on CISN. We thank Drew Dunwalt, the public address announcer, for the starting lineups. Wish that we could have brought for you the national anthem, but due to copyright infringement had to take you to a quick break there, and we are set with the Valley Tigers kicking off here in the first half. They'll be traveling from right to left on your screen, again in the black uniforms with orange shoulders and orange numerals, black shorts with a white stripe up the side. And Urbandale in white with blue numerals, the Urbandale U on the front in blue and red. Kicked off, and Valley will give up possession for position as they will track down again on the football field here, cutting from a tough angle, trying to center, finding somebody in the back door. A quick shot on goal and tested early is the netminder Rebecca Krugler. The junior goaltender is listed in the program as 0, but appears to be wearing her away netminder jersey. That gray jersey will be wearing numeral 24. It'll be a quick opportunity on the corner kick for Valley. Right-handed kick swinging away from the net is popped up, and the netminder got a piece of it. Not enough. As it left a rebound, she tried to push it and did push it off the crossbar, but then it was finished in a sea of bodies there. We'll get confirmation here. And who else but Anna Van Weingarten gets her squad off to a fantastic start. Valley scores just a minute and 5 seconds into action, a second-minute goal from number 4, Anna Van Weingarten, and the scouting report did not lie. We talked about in the pregame that she would certainly be a player to take notice of, and she delivers. Kristen Stein throws it in, and Valley goes right back and looking to pressure. Nice move there by Emma Thompson, a senior midfielder, crossing from the left side, and it takes a couple of attempts, but is gathered by the goaltender Rebecca Krugler. She will settle things down, a right-footed player, and punts it to midfield. As I was mentioning earlier, playing here on the football field, or a combined field, does make things a little bit difficult in some areas, but it certainly helps us out in the broadcast to explain exactly where action is, as the player for Valley there taken down at the 42-yard marker. Should point out that if you see in the broadcast where the near side AR, the assistant referee Jody Bervin, is standing, there's a black line. That is the out-of-bounds line, as the soccer pitch is wider than the football stadium here, and they will move the ball down the line. Taking the throw in for Urbandale is Sophie Cochran. Excuse me, that was Emma Johansson. And we'll have a whistle here that will go against the home squad. It will set up an indirect free kick. Stepping up for Urbandale is Kelsey Heller, listed as both a defenseman and a midfielder, but playing more of a defensive role here, at least to start the contest. That'll be crossed inside the 10-yard line up the right wing side. Pressuring and trying to come up with a turnover was Isabel Doria, and she is rewarded for her aggression, as we will have a throw-in. Emma Johansson on the restart. Gets a good, solid run up to the ball, and as that's popped back to her, she'll elect to leave that out of play. Gracie Marks gives her an outlet to the left, but she's looking to push the pace. Throws it in, that's headed away by Valley. Turning, and a little bit of a miscommunication there. Right idea, as Emma Byrne, the senior striker, had a player and was passing to where she was, not where she was heading. A little bit of a collision there between Van Weingarten and the center referee, but no issues there as the Tigers still apply pressure. Last player back is Marley Pierce, and with one swift left-footed boot, she gets a clearance. 35-45 left to go in the first half. 1-0 Valley on top here early at home. We'll play 2 40-minute halves. Kick down to the right side. A little bit of collision there, and I like the fact that we had some contact there, but nothing called by Nihat Rahish, the other assistant referee, who will be playing the far side this evening on the broadcast. Eric Kochneff is your center referee. My name is Eric Zamora, bringing you the play-by-play, and from the left side of the goal box, the Urbandale Jayhawks get the restart. Thrown in down the line, and the Jayhawks thought that had last touched off a Valley player, but instead they will back up and defend. Carved through the middle, that's turned over, and playing it back in was Emma Thompson. They'll settle it down, swinging out to the left side. Kristen Stein, defenseman, and a midfielder, playing more of a midfielder role this evening. She is a senior, and a whistle behind the play. That will keep the ball in possession of the Jayhawks, but it will slow things down a little bit. Played down and headed, popped directly up by Stein. Brought back down to her. Stein chips it up, and that one just got over the midfield line before Johansson, who not only struck the ball out of midair, but was airborne herself. A little bit of a hop, and was able to advance the gameplay. From the left side, had a player out to the left. There's where they'll utilize her, and that's a nice play as they kind of set up a triangle there. First going upfield, then cutting across 90 degrees. Urbandale sniffs it out, plays a long ball, and the netminder will come and bring that to herself, and we'll just roll that out for Stein. The netminder for Valley is Lydia Anderson, and haven't had to call her name yet in the broadcast. Here coming the other way. The netminder off her line, cutting around her, and just off the side of the cage. You saw the spare ball that was out of play get struck there. That's why for a moment it looked like there were two in play. But a good job there by Rebecca Krugler. Although she wasn't able to get a hand on the ball, her coming out, cutting down the angle, forced Valley to play at a really tough angle, and they were not able to get a shot on goal. It will go down as an off-target shot, and Avery Galloway, sophomore halfback, got tangled up there. And right at the middle claw in the Valley midfield logo, Urbandale with the restart. Again, the Jayhawks just in their second contest of the season with a 1-1 record. Valley at a .750 winning percentage. They are 3-1 on the young year. Starting out with a 10-0 victory at Des Moines Lincoln. Knocked off Cedar Rapids Kennedy at home, and then Waverly Shell Rock, both with shutout victories, 7-0, 4-0. Finally tasted defeat against Ankeny Centennial on Tuesday evening here at Valley Stadium. The Jaguars with a 2-1 victory in that contest. Restart from the far sideline, and they got that into the cleat of Marley Pierce. A shot across the bow. Lydia Anderson will escort that one across the goal line. She was expecting that it was last touched by Urbandale, but a deflection off of a Valley player, and we've got our first corner kick of the contest for the Urbandale Jayhawks, each with one in the contest. Again, a right-footed kick on this side of the field means swinging away from the goal line, and Valley will try to transition. Great step up by Emma Johansson, although Valley maintains possession as Byrne advances play. Really, at that point of the field, Emma Johansson making a now or never decision. If she lets the Valley attack get past her, she's basically the last man back. Speaking of, Anna Spain playing that last man to equate it to another sport, playing free safety. The center fullback with a nice step up. And frankly, if you're a Jayhawks fan, you've seen action a little bit too much to the left of us here in the broadcast as Valley once again cuts in down low along the goal line, unable to keep that in play. And we will have a restart with a goal kick coming up. For these two squads up next, it will be a Tuesday contest for Valley. They'll head to take on Des Moines Roosevelt. And that's actually a 4:45 start next Tuesday. Meanwhile, Urbandale will take on Ankeny. That'll be a road contest. Also next Tuesday, 6 o'clock. That game gets underway. Valley goes back to Spain. Spain does a nice job here sliding that out to Brooklyn Butoff as the girls really do a good job there of using the whole width of the field. Sometimes you see, especially at the high school level, players always wanting to go forward and always trying to use the center of the field. Here, using the full width of it, allowing some options, a quick restart as they'll get a throw in. And again, down along the goal line, they find a pass across the back door. Unable to connect. Sliding off of her line was Rebecca Krugler, sprawled out, hoping to get a piece of it. It was actually the defenseman whose name we've called in praise already, Emma Johansson, getting a piece of it, connecting, and making sure that that went off target. A corner kick, and they'll actually quickly play it into the feet of Kristen Stein. She will cross one through the box, but can't find anybody to tap it in from the other side, and we will have a restart here with a goal kick. Sun's starting to go down here in West Des Moines. And from the 25-yard marker, they'll play that up. Left-footed play by Kylie Lumley, who swings it across. Into the left channel for Stein. Stein, I was going to say run out of bounds, but did a nice job there. A deft little touch to keep it in play. Stein, hounded by Doria, still able to make the cross. Now back the other way in transition, and Spain will come up with it. Looks like we've got three players from each side looking for a stoppage and to get into the contest in the next available opportunity. There's a ball struck up and over the crossbar underneath the field goal post. And so for Urbandale, they'll bring in Alexandra King, Avery Van Quatham, and Morgan Pierce. Pierce with one start on the season. Gabby Gaffney and Rachel Hansen stepping in on the West Des Moines side.
And for Urbandale, number 13, Alexandra King.
A little soft feather touch into the left side, and once again this will result in a corner kick with Urbandale needing to defend a corner kick for the third time in just the opening 13 and a half minutes. Swinging towards the net, it's touched there and then finally cleared out. I believe getting a piece of that was either Heller or Johansson. Settled down, and they try a one-touch pass to the near side. That was picked off. Turnabout being fair play. It's turned back over the other way. Butoff feeds it through the middle and strikes that to Galloway. They'll switch over to the right side, send it back for Spain. Spain from the 35-yard marker goes well to the left, advances it just about 5 yards, struck well on target, but no problem for Krugler. She was able to see that the entire way. And we'll get it back into play. 49 degrees right now in West Des Moines, partly cloudy skies. And a handoff by Butoff as she feeds that over for Thompson. They'll make the exchange to Stein. Stein tries to cross through the middle, broken up by the noggin of an Urbandale player. Stepping up, fresh into the game, Alexandra King. Got a left foot on that one. A nice pullback there by Thompson to the left side, cutting back to open up the angle. Now Thompson drills one up and over. Couldn't get that one to drop in time to force Krugler to make a play. And we will once again have a goal kick for Urbandale. They got that out to the 30 and at the feet of Taylor Mulligan. In the starting lineup tonight, and the only player for Urbandale who was a starter tonight but hasn't started all 3 games for the Jayhawks. This is her second cap. Spain with a collision in Urbandale. Jumps on a loose ball. They'll play it up the left wing side, but a little bit too hot to handle for everybody. This is played back to the netminder, but a dangerous play there, giving chase, was Maria Long, and the sophomore did get a piece of the clearance and then knocked it off of the goalkeeper, Lydia Anderson. We will have our second corner kick for Urbandale this evening, and this coming in the opposite side. They'll all stay at about the 7-8 yard marker before making a run. Again, the net's set up at the back of the end zone, so looking to run on about 17 yards. There was the entirety of the attack. Nice play to keep that heading forward for Valley. Nice one-on-one move, and it comes back to Heller. This time the defenseman is able to play it up the field. Butoff spins around Lumley with tight pressure. Broken up, and now King. King with it. Feeds it through the middle. That's picked off. Now headed the other way. An inside pass attempt, and a good no call there. I know that you see a player get tangled up and your immediate thought is there had to have been a foul, but she ends up just tripping over the ball. Sure, it was played into her feet, but no intent there, and a good job by the official. Keep flow going. Butoff has Spain to her right. That's where she elects to lay the ball off. And again, this West Des Moines squad is not always thinking north-south. Quite often, it's an east-west play. There was a collision, but after the ball had already been played, the officials there determining that it was coincidental and neither side gained an advantage, although keep an eye on that. If that happens to become a pattern for that particular player, then I would imagine you'll start to hear the whistle blown. Played out of bounds and up the left wing side. However, before that happens, we will have a substitution. Grace Olson, the sophomore midfielder, will come on for Valley, and countering Urbandale will bring back into the contest senior Gracie Marks. A throw into Spain. Spain settles it down, centers it, and now they'll push it out to the left. With time is Stein. Stein finds a target going up the left side. I believe that's Hansen. Sometimes the numerals of 6 and 5 can be a little bit difficult to tell from this depth. However, we've seen 15, Brooklyn Butoff, who now has the ball at her feet, in action playing the left side. They'll indeed feed that ahead to Hansen. Hansen got around Mulligan, but not cleanly. A collision, and Pierce applying some good pressure, keeping the Tigers at bay, at least for the moment. Knocked out of bounds. Last off of the white squad. It will be a restart coming up the right side, and they'll feed it right back to the inbounder. Cutting across to the left. Stepping up. Nice play to center it. They'll get that to the feet of Gracie Marks. Marks leads that ahead. Tapped back to the netminder. She can't pick that up as it was played to her by a teammate intentionally with feet, but she is able to use her feet herself. At that point, she just becomes not a goalkeeper, but an 11th player in the field, and she's able to get that clearance. Looks like West Des Moines will make a couple more substitutions. Waiting to get on are Emma Byrne and Anna Van Weingarten, the goal scorer, who, if you joined the broadcast a little bit late to the start of the game, you missed the most exciting action. Just 65 seconds in, Weingarten was able to bury a rebound. It's her 8th goal in just her 5th contest of the 2021 campaign.
In for the Tigers, number 4, Anna Van Weingarten. Number 11, Emma Byrne. And number 18, Zoe
And
Fanter.
I thought that was Zoe Fanter, but Fanter with the hair covering the numeral on the back, but PA announcer Drew Dunwalt does indeed confirm what it looked like I could see through that curtain of locks. Played to the 20-yard marker, played up the left side, and Urbandale gives it right back. One-touch pass by Olsen, fresh into the contest. They'll center it, and coming back for this one, nice job there directing traffic by Stein. Stein let her teammate know both visually and audibly, as our field mic picked up, that she was letting everybody know that she was open.
At number 10, Isabel Doria.
Doria coming out of the contest. Eckhoff in her spot. Hannah Eckhoff, the daughter of head coach Jason Eckhoff. Urbandale's assistant coaches are Jessica Schwery, Bonnie Larson, and Brianna Montross. Coaching staff for Valley out of West Des Moines are Rob Chapman.
Valley, number 21.
Adam, he's the head coach. Assistant coaches Adam Knighty, Linda Rasmussen, Nate Ortiz, and Sam Weeks. Played up the line by Johansson. A pass intended for Van Weingarten. Can't connect. And nice job there coming up the right side. Staying onside was Marks. However, unable to catch up to that ball. 17 minutes exactly left to go in our first half. And we have got a 1-0 lead in favor of the home Valley Tigers. Turning with it is Van Weingarten. Puts it the path of Galloway. She'll swing it to the right side. Tracked down, and a one-touch play out of the zone by Heller. A second effort to clear, and does more than that. This is going to lead a play all the way into the box. Off her line is goalkeeper Lydia Anderson. And she will swing it over to the left side, and Stein, the intended target. Stein looked like it was going to get it right back, but instead it was to a player running up from behind. They got a clearance, now spinning, and with it is Butoff to the middle, and broken up from there. Butoff and Spain talking it out. Marks makes the collision, tried to come up with a steal, and momentarily made the Valley bench a little bit concerned, but a nice job there by Spain as an auxiliary helps out and gets a clearance. A foul called against Urbandale on the collision. Restart at the 45-yard marker. And spinning, Galloway tries to create some separation with a fancy move, but not enough separation. It's turned over. Doria is hounded, plays it to the last player back. Marks tries to deflect that one up and over Butoff. Headed down, then headed away by Urbandale. And Van Weingarten smelled blood in the water. However, her Tiger teammates unable to get it to her. We're going to have a foul called against Valley. And this allows an opportunity for a restart here at about the 27-yard line outside the football boundary. Butoff slows it down. Doria with the steal feeds it ahead to Lumley. Crossed into the box. No problem there for Anderson. She will run underneath and cover up. The lone other game we have tonight on CISN, Dowling Catholic hosting Ankeny. Out of bounds. And we'll have another substitution. Fanter coming back on for Valley. It will be Maria Long, the sophomore forward, checking in, and strike that.
Number 14, Maria Long.
It's Hansen, 16, not 18, jogging onto the field for Valley. A tough play there, running and changing the angle on the fly, able to get that breakout pass. But Valley defended it well. Urbandale comes up with a steal. Nice footwork there by center referee Eric Kochneff. A collision here, and that's going to go against Urbandale, so a restart. Free kick from the 43, about dead center. Maybe a little bit to the right as Valley sees it. Thompson on the restart. Played into the box, sent out wide by the netminder, and Anna Spain with it, goes inside. Now they'll swing it out to the right. Tigers connecting on a couple of passes, and as soon as I say that, they play the long ball. It's run onto from the right wing side, trying to cut back in and open up the angle. Great play across. Still with it and wasting no time. Van Weingarten with a rocket of a shot, but it misses on the near side as we're hearing the wind start to pick up even more. 12:05 left to go in our opening half, and it is 1-0 Valley thanks to an Anna Van Weingarten goal at 1:05 of the contest. Played out of bounds, and the fourth corner kick of the game awarded to the Tigers. For Van Weingarten, her 8th goal of the season. She's already got 17 points in the books with an assist to go along with it. Crossed in and some pressure around the netminder, but Krugler is able to fight through it, walks it to the edge of the box, rolls it out, and that was sniffed out. Brought right back in by Olsen. Krugler has to come off her line, plays it. It's headed down, and 3 straight plays for Valley, Urbandale, and Valley off the forehead. Crossed up to open space. That's a good play. Didn't find anybody open, but did find some vacated real estate that the Jayhawks were able to run into. Here's Marks. Marks quickly turns it, tries a centering pass. She had Lumley, the freshman, but couldn't get it to her. And Spain will swoop that up, and she'll activate a fullback, but joins the rush and makes the breakout pass here to allow Valley up the right wing side. She'll now head back to midfield and look to defend. They'll go to that right fullback back over to the center in Spain, and creating some pressure there is Lumley. Right now it looks like the Urbandale squad attacking with a 4-4-2 formation. Lumley and Marks playing the striker role. This is a ball played deep by Galloway, and not enough postage on that. It's a return to sender. Butoff feeds that over for CJ Johnson. Back to Spain on the feed from Galloway. To the inside. Brought away. Now up the right side. And Spain crosses into the box. Run onto by Krugler. And the junior comes up with a stop. Thought about rolling it out. Elects instead to punt. Coming into the contest, Krugler, the junior, had played 100 minutes. And backup netminder Turnus with the other 60. This one has popped up. Krugler had surrendered 2 goals on 12 shots, 10 saves. This is played out to the right side and running onto it, just able to keep that in the field of play. This one, again, starts to creep to that line, but they keep it alive. Here's Johnson. Johnson peels it over and feeds it up this left side where, quite honestly, Valley's had success on both sides moving the ball up. A left-footed play, and that one misses everything. In fact, that will roll into the concession stand door.
JC Lucky. And for Urbandale, number 13, Alexandra King.
Alexandra King will step onto the field for Urbandale. JC Lucky, the freshman striker, will join action for Valley. Mentioned moments ago that Urbandale basically running a 4-4-2. Right now it looks like West Des Moines countering with a 4-3-3. A little bit more of an aggressive style with 3 strikers. This is played through and settled down by the netminder. She'll take her time, brings it into her gloves, and will walk that up to the top of the box inside of 7 minutes to go in our opening 40. A little bit of contact there in the back. Initially thought that was going to go by the wayside, but they will call that against Mulligan. And so from straightaway center at the 45-yard marker, Spain with a deceptive restart. Looked like she was going to play it all the way down. Instead, elects to go with a safer pass over for Johnson. Butoff plays that ahead to Johnson, but I really like what she did there, which was open up her body and allow Johnson options. Had the chance to go back over for 15, but instead elects to keep the ball moving towards the Urbandale goal line. Johnson pulls that back, fed from Stein, goes back to her. Stein advances it, looking for options. Johnson tries to settle it down, pulls back, opens things up. Now at the 35, they'll slide that over. Good through ball, onside, cutting in, firing and scoring. And again, the Valley squad struck early in the contest, and they get another Van Weingarten goal. It comes at 34 minutes, 38 seconds, and that's the difficulty of Van Weingarten. You know that she's there. Nobody's losing number 4 in the chaos, but a perfectly timed ball that the Urbandale side was well set up for the offside trap, but a perfectly timed pass, there's really no defense to it. And they're able to spring Weingarten, and not much that Krugler could do there. Comes off her line, tries to cut down the window, but quite frankly, Van Weingarten's not going to miss from there with that speed too often. Buries it into the right side of the net.
In for Valley, number 21, Avery Galloway.
And Avery Galloway, sophomore halfback, steps onto the field. Pushing it out to the right is Galloway with fresh legs. They'll advance it. Van Weingarten was starting to run into the corner, calling for it. Tigers elect instead to go up the middle. Slipping through, firing a shot and a goal. And Valley just keeps on rolling, and while she won't end up factoring into this one, Van Weingarten again, by cutting to the right side, really kept the eyes of Urbandale on her, and instead it is C.J. Johnson with the goal. It is her 6th of the season, along with an assist. It comes at the 35-minute and 48-second mark, so just over a minute after the Van Weingarten goal. And we will have a throw in here up the right wing side. You got to be frustrated if you're Urbandale, because they gave up a goal just 65 seconds into the contest. And then moments ago, we're in a 1-goal game. But goals in back-to-back minutes has opened things up for the Tigers, and Valley leads by a score of 3-0. Stepping up and playing it towards the net is King, well off the mark, and the goalkeeper will let that one roll up out of play. One of the ball boys will head after it. She heads to the opposite side of the net where the spare is kept for quicker restarts. Played into the feet of King. And Johnson played that back for Butoff. Sydney 2 swings it to the center from the left out of bounds marker. And a quick foot there by Heller as she kicks it outside. Stepping up is Spain again. Spain fakes the big play and elects to go with a shorter, easier to convert pass. And sometimes a couple of threats with that long ball Much like you'll see a quarterback who will take the top off the defense a couple of times, it really opens up things underneath, and that's the respect that Urbandale is giving Spain right now, as the last thing they want to do is allow her to connect with a long pass. Hansen centers it, brought back, and they'll go all the way back and restart. Lydia Anderson able to come out of that 18-yard marker. Feeds over to the left side. But off it takes a inadvertent deflection off of Sydney 2, the senior fullback. Then looks to defend, and Spain just applying pressure there. Didn't need to touch the ball or her opponent, and it forces the ball out of play. Restart coming up, and it looks like it'll be 2. Makes an inside pass for Galloway. This is crossed through the 6-yard box and out the other side. Valley clears it out in the final minute of the first half. 52 seconds left on the clock. 3-0. Valley on top. Played to the outside. Crossed in by King. There's a collision. And the official says play on. Player still down. It takes a deflection. That's a tough one, as Urbandale doesn't want to stop the clock or stop play because they had a scoring opportunity, one of the best that they've had all game, at their hands. Anderson with no rush to get this ball back in play. Her squad on top, 3-0. And she'll pull that back into the 6. 12 seconds left in the half when she restarts. Need by King. Bodies collide on both sides. There'll be a foul called, but not enough time to put the ball back in play. It won't matter. That's how our first half will come to an end. As Anna Van Weingarten got things going for Valley, she scored her 8th goal of the season in the 2nd minute, her 9th goal of the season in the 35th minute, and CJ Johnson scoring her 6th of the season at the 36th minute. 3-0 Valley on top of Urbandale. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with your halftime show. You're watching girls soccer action on CISN.
For 35 years in the automotive industry, I had the opportunity to build on the American dream, just like Henry Ford did over 100 years ago.
Introducing the all-new DeArmond Ford Indianola.
Like Ford Motor Company, we're a family-led business guided by our core values of hard work, trust, honesty, and integrity.
People drive to Indianola to buy Fords.
The all-new DeArmond Ford. DeArmondFord.com.
Built for America, sold by DeArmond Ford Indianola.
Obsessively, relentlessly. That's what you can always expect, even when faced with the unexpected. It's a service we take seriously, providing comfort in the rain, tools to help you save, a helping hand along the way, and from a safe distance away. Delivering the energy you need while going the extra mile. Regardless of the times, our team remains committed to you.
Hi, I'm Joe the Car Guy with Westside Auto. I'm excited to tell you about our new lifetime oil change plan. When you purchase our plan, you'll never have to pay for an oil change again. If you get a different car, simply transfer the plan over. If that car's oil needs are different than your original plan, just pay the difference. It couldn't be simpler. You won't have to worry about inflation or prices going up. Give us a call at Westside Auto Pros to get details on the lifetime oil change plan. And remember, when I say lifetime, I mean your lifetime, not just your car's.
Central Bank opened its doors in 1877 and has been proud to call Iowa home ever since. For more than a century, our family-owned business has worked hand in hand with friends and neighbors across the state to make their dreams a reality. Come visit us at our new location on Hickman and Waukee and see how Central Bank can make it happen for you.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Welcome back into Valley High School in West Des Moines, Iowa, where at the half, the girls soccer squad leading the Urbandale Jayhawks by a score of 3-0. A game that for, I would say, 37 of the 40 minutes was pretty even back and forth. It was tilted in favor of the Tigers, but not by what that score would indicate. It has just been that the Tigers have been incredibly opportunistic, and the grade A scoring chances that they have had have ended up in the back of the net. It started out with an early corner kick that was thrown into the box, went off of the crossbar, and then Anna Van Weingarten smelled blood in the water, scored her 8th goal of the season at the 1:05 mark. We then went over half an hour without any scoring, with some good back and forth play, and the Tigers were able to find Van Weingarten on a perfectly timed through ball coming up the right wing side. She came into the box with speed and beat the netminder low on the right side as the shooter saw it. And then in the 36th minute, it was C.J. Johnson. And again, with Van Weingarten running in from the right side, that kind of drew the attention of the Urbandale defense and allowed Johnson to pot her 6th goal of the campaign, as she was able to keep that one low to the left and beat the netminder Rebecca Krugler. A quick look at the upcoming schedule for these two squads. For Valley, they will travel to take on Des Moines Roosevelt on Tuesday. That game starting at 4:45. Then next Friday, a week from tomorrow, they will host Fort Dodge. Meanwhile, Urbandale is next in action on the road on Tuesday, taking on Ankeny. They will host Ottumwa a week from tomorrow. We'll take another time out, and we will be back with more from your halftime show. 3-0 Valley leads Urbandale. You're watching girls soccer action on CISN.
Who loves you, Iowa? Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee does. It's closeout time at Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee.
Get up to 17% of MSRP cash back on select new 21 models. Over 50 new Equinox and Traverse. Early lease termination program for Chevy owners, whether you bought your Chevy from us or not. Click, call, or stop in.
Who loves you, Iowa? Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee does. WaukeeChevy.com.
Hi, I'm Joe the Car Guy with Westside Auto. I'm excited to tell you about our new lifetime oil change plan. When you purchase our plan, you'll never have to pay for an oil change again. If you get a different car, simply transfer the plan over. If that car's oil needs are different than your original plan, just pay the difference. It couldn't be simpler. You won't have to worry about inflation or prices going up. Give us a call at Westside Auto Pros to get details on the lifetime oil change plan. And remember, when I say lifetime, I mean your lifetime, not just your car's.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Central Bank opened its doors in 1877 and has been proud to call Iowa home ever since. For more than a century, our family-owned business has worked hand in hand with friends and neighbors across the state to make their dreams a reality. Come visit us at our new location on Hickman and Waukee and see how Central Bank can make it happen for you.
Obsessively, relentlessly. That's what you can always expect, even when faced with the unexpected. It's a service we take seriously, providing comfort in the rain, tools to help you save, a helping hand along the way, and from a safe distance away, delivering the energy you need while going the extra mile. Regardless of the times, our team remains committed to you.
And the Valley Tigers lead Urbandale Jayhawks in girls soccer action here at the varsity level by a score of 3-0. The other game going on CISN.TV, the Ankeny squad taking on Dowling Catholic. That is a home game for the Maroons hosting the Hawks. No score at the half. Dar Danielson with the call of that one. Randy Nielsen is our engineer and producer. Reese Webb, our camera operator. My name is Eric Zamora, doing play-by-play for this girls soccer matchup. And we talked about Van Weingarten, the junior, coming into the contest with 18 shots on goal, 7 goals, and scoring at nearly a 40% clip from shots that she gets on target, and keeping up that torrid pace this evening as she gets the first 2 goals of the game in the 2nd and 35th minute, and factored in, although it won't go down on the score sheet, of the CJ Johnson goal in the 36th minute, and has her Valley Tigers 40 minutes away from improving to a 4-1 record. Valley having already defeated the Des Moines Lincoln squad 10-0, Cedar Rapids Kennedy 7-0, Waverly Shell Rock 4-0. They tasted their first defeat on Tuesday of this week as they fell to Ankeny Centennial by a final of 2-1. The next couple of weeks finishing out the month of April. Tuesday they'll travel to Des Moines Roosevelt, and Friday of next week they will host Fort Dodge. They'll take on Dowling Catholic on Tuesday the 27th and are at Waukee on Friday the 30th. Meanwhile, for the Urbandale Jayhawks, they come in with a record of 1-1, have defeated Des Moines East 10-0, fell to the Johnson Dragons by a score of 2-0. That was 6 days ago, their last action. Next week, they will travel to Ankeny on Tuesday and host Ottumwa a week from tomorrow. Then they will wrap up the month of April hosting Waukee on Tuesday the 27th. The restart will be for the Urbandale Jayhawks in their road white uniforms with blue numerals, the Urbandale U on the front chest in blue and red, and they travel from right to left on your screen. This is turned over and picked up by Avery Galloway. Galloway will swing it out to the left side. Butoff plays it up that left wing line, kept in play, knocked right back in Spain with a very subtle little play there with the left cleat, brings it over to her dominant right foot, and they'll get that ahead for Emma Byrne. Byrne tries to open things up on the far side. Track down, that will pinball off of a couple of players, but stay in. And popped up to the 30-yard marker. A couple of players trying to play it on the fly. And mistiming it. It hits the ground. Now over for Spain. Spain has a player to the right side. That was Mallory Goldstein, and I apologize, didn't get her name in the broadcast early in the first half simply because she was always playing that far side and it was difficult to make out the numeral, but the right fullback wearing number 20 helps advance the gameplay. There's a collision and a player upended, but they say play on, and I agree with our center official. Here's a steal. Urbandale now will slow things down, trying to feed that over to the feet of Mulligan. Mulligan, a tall freshman, feeds it over to the right side. It's turned over. Now coming up and through the middle, Johnson does a nice job of keeping that play alive. Hands it off for Byrne. Over to the left side, and Eckhoff activates. They'll tangle up there, and we will have a restart. Thrown down the line, and they're going to say that that was played with a high kick, a dangerous play, even though it didn't connect with anybody. You'll still see that called, and Urbandale with the restart here. Headed at the 25-yard marker by Urbandale. Eckhoff, the intended target. This is struck well, but off the mark. Unable to bring that on target are the Jayhawks. And with 37:05 left in regulation, we'll have a goal kick to start things off as Lydia Anderson, the sophomore netminder, will put that into play. The Valley Tigers, in the first 4 games of the season, giving up just 2 goals, 18 saves made on the year prior to tonight's contest underway. So that's a 90% save percentage, and perhaps what's most impressive there is through 4 games, giving up just 5 shots on goal per game, as they have been a stifling and stingy defense. And just as I say that, Spain picks the pocket of Eckhoff and gets out of harm's way. Urbandale able to get a touch on it, but it's unable to stay in bounds. Throw in for West Des Moines, and just as I say that, Galloway was expecting a teammate to zig when she zagged, and so we'll have a restart the other way. Riley Anderson in on the throw-in. Spain pressured, forced to the side, and makes a pass, as that was Maria Long applying pressure. Down the line with it goes Goldstein. Trapped down by Byrne. Headed and brought up by Riley Anderson. They'll feed this back. Struck well and run onto there nicely. I know that this gives up the throw-in, but quite honestly, Kelsey Heller taking the conservative route and trying to make sure that there was no breakaway. She will gladly concede a throw-in and a second in order to make sure that that wasn't a long home run outlet pass that turned into a goal. Spain calls for it. She's got butt off to her left, but she will carve right through the Tiger arm at the center field logo. Run onto from the right wing side. Scoring opportunity, knocked down, and the official says play on. Valley fans aren't going to be happy with it, and I agree with the with the official Kochneff. There was certainly some contact, but it looked like there was some contact both ways, and if anything, that's a play that may be whistled at midfield, likely not going to be whistled inside the box. Growing up playing the game on military bases in Germany, when I came back to the States, I felt that sometimes officials were a little too quick to blow the whistle. It is a contact and collision sport, and the referee in a good spot, and that's what's most important with making that call, is he had a direct line of sight, saw the contact from both sides, and keeps the whistle at his side. This is played ahead by Urbandale, and a nice job coming back and helping break that up. The linesman puts up the flag, indicating that one had gone out of bounds. Again, the far side assistant referee, Nihat Rahish. Jody Bervin on the near side here in the broadcast. And they have the assistant referees stay on the same side of the field, so that way if there's a particular AR that coaching staff is questioning their decisions, then they're having to deal with one of the ARs in the offensive half of the field for one half, the other in the second half. And the thought process is, as long as they're both playing and making the calls for your team offensively for half the game, then it kind of evens out. This is played to the line, although I should say I think that both ARs have been dead on so far, and great officiating all around. Too often we emphasize when the refs make obvious mistakes, but we'll hand out some credit. Spain picks off that pass and will start to head up the field. Van Weingarten feeds it over the left side, and now it's actually the center fullback, Spain, who for a moment was leading the charge even after she had gotten rid of the ball. Sometimes coaching staffs will say, that's fine if you jump in the fray, but then once the ball is no longer at your feet, we want you to peel back, and she's got the support of her staff. There is a ball struck to the goalkeeper, and the official let it go for a moment to see what would develop. A nice job there, as he wanted to see if there would have been more of an advantage for Valley to not blow the play dead, but instead see if the Tigers don't just naturally keep the ball. But it was quick enough that he could see that wasn't going to be the case. Here's a ball well struck just over the crossbar. A good opportunity from about 33 yards out at the 23-yard marker, and then add 10 from the football goal line to the back line. And it will result in a restart, and this is turned over. Here's Van Weingarten. Van Weingarten with a quick step over, tries to go short side. And the netminder comes up with a big stop and pokes it out of play. The restart coming from Johnson on the corner. First of the half, fifth of the game for Valley. And no real issues there, as they're unable to connect as it's sent across. Allison Turnez now in net for Urbandale, with her squad down 3-0. A nice little redirect pass onto the feet of Johnson. Johnson takes her time, goes to open space, and here's Butoff to the left side, carving back towards the middle. A nice pull back, and this will open up some room. tangled up, and that is going to get called. It is outside, well outside the 18-yard box, but it will be a free kick, and I would imagine we'll see Johnson taking this, and it looks like that is initially what will happen. Johnson has been taking the corner kicks, and as a right-footed dominant shooter, this will allow her to have this one swinging in, and that's exactly what she does. Off her line, Ternez is able to scoop that one up and quickly plays it up the line. Fed over to the right side, carving through and just missing. Great look there by Emma Byrne with the left-footed shot. Slips it in on the short side, but not on target. And a substitution here, Grace Olson and Rachel Hansen will step into the contest. Should point out that Valley is putting up an impressive game here, as we are now in the 53rd minute of action, and they're not even completely full staff tonight, as they are without the services of Riley King, Allison Hoffa, Emmy Becker, and Grace Wolford. This is the first opportunity I've had to see the Tiger squad on the year, so can't speak to how much those players have been a part of the program, although I can say, as we've got a stoppage here, and we're going to have a penalty shot on the way, and it looks like Johnson will be taking it for Valley. She heads over to grab a ball on the left side, not seeing that one had been rolled out for her. Clock is stopped at 26:51 remaining in the contest. And Johnson has one already in the game. Right-footed shot, steps up, strikes, and in the back of the net. Nothing that the netminder Ternez could do. And CJ Johnson has her second of the game. This one, a penalty kick converted. Both Johnson and Weingarten with 2 in the game. That is Johnson's 7th of the season. 4-0. Valley on top. Played into the, or just outside of the box rather, of Valley. They'll defend and played up the left side. Knocked out of bounds. Last off of Urbandale will have a throw in, and Butoff will get the restart. For what it is worth, Becker, Hoffa, and King all out of tonight's contest with no points in the young season, although play more of a defensive than offensive role. And Grace Wolford had started in every game prior to tonight's contest, had a goal and an assist, and Wolford, the lone Tiger that to this point of the season has a 100% shooting percentage, scored a goal on her only shot on target. Sent out to the right side. Stepping up at the 9. And Valley. A little bit too much of a touch there by Grace Olson. Lost possession. Fighting to make a play. And right there, Hansen's going to argue that there's not much she can do there because the opponent, Taylor Mulligan, stepping up was actually popping back up off the turf. So she knocked her down, but Mulligan in kind of a precarious spot. I think that Hansen's got a good argument to be made, but getting in the mind of the center referee, Eric Kochneff, for a moment. I think what his thought process there is the most important thing is making sure that we err on the side of caution. Last thing you want to do is have a player get hurt of something that is avoidable, and that would be being a little bit too aggressive with an opponent who was getting back up off the mat. So this one signaled nicely by the official, so we can see exactly what he was saying there. The throw-in is going back to Valley because it never came in play. If you throw a ball in soccer, it goes into the field of play, and then due to spin, the wind, whatever, it tails out, then it's going to go the other way. But if it never actually gets into the field of play, then you'll get another restart opportunity. They'll switch sides over to the left, trying to go inside. This is going to be turned over. Urbandale now with an opportunity, and they miss on the pass as cutting through was Maria Long. And if you're going to miss, they missed about the worst possible place they could have, and that was at the feet of Anna Spain. The center fullback listed on the roster as Anastasia, but I was told by PA announcer Drew Dunwalt prefers to go by Anna. A steal from the right side, Urbandale. Now with numbers, they try to quickly advance the play up the right side and can't connect, as that pass was a little bit too long to be run onto. 23-10 left to go in regulation. 4-0 Valley on top of the visiting Urbandale Jayhawks. We'll have a substitution coming on for Valley is Avery Galloway, sophomore halfback or midfielder, depending on which lingo you prefer. This is turned over, and it will be Urbandale with the restart. Throw-in, headed a couple of times by the Jayhawks. Spain wastes no time advancing that one. Chested down by Hansen. Turned over. Urbandale still applying pressure. They'll switch over to the left side. And knocked away. Cutting through, the intended target there was Gabby Gaffney, the junior striker. Spain plays the ball kind of in a no man's land. Did have Olsen there, but sniffed out by Marley Pierce. Spain, last man back, comes up with it. Pushed ahead by Mulligan through some resistance. And there the strength of the freshman on display. Carving through the defense, then turned over. Valley looking to counter strike. And a collision coming back. The benefit of the doubt going Mulligan's way last time. It won't this time, as the freshman comes in like a bull in a china shop and knocks over her counterpart to the outside, and that will open up some green territory for Spain. Again, Valley in their home black uniforms with orange numerals outlined in white, orange shoulders, black shorts with white stripes up the side and black socks going from left to right. Urbandale in the road white uniforms, blue numerals, white shorts, white socks going from right to left. Tracked down by Valley. Tigers will elect to feed this over for Goldstein. Goldstein advances to Gaffney. Goldstein with her first start of the 2021 season. The other 10 in the lineup tonight had all started the previous 4 games. Galloway makes a player miss, and it allows her some time and space. She'll use it as she gets it back. Tries to rip I don't know if that was a shot from that far out or just trying to make an aggressive hard pass. And we see for Valley that Peyton Lombardi, the senior goalkeeper, waiting to check into the game, along with Goldstein. This is played over the goal line, well off the target, and that will bring an end to the evening for Lombardi. She will play approximately 60 of 80 minutes and comes to the bench with her record unscathed. Both teams electing to get multiple netminders in action. Lombardi right off the first game action with a goal kick over to Spain. Valley connects and plays it deep. They'll cut this back, and Hansen didn't see a player coming from her blind side, otherwise would have teed up with a good opportunity at a shot, although would have been a deep opportunity. Urbandale is going to use this opportunity to make the substitution the next time they are able to, not able to get a restart on their opponent's throw-in, as otherwise it could be seen as a delaying tactic, allowing the Tigers this chance to keep pushing the pace. Looks like it'll be Sophie Cochran, as well as Gracie Marks, Megan Sawyer, all checking into the contest. And I don't have a number 9 on my roster, so we'll certainly identify that fourth Jayhawk as soon as we have that opportunity.
In for Valley, number 2, Sydney 2. And for Urbandale, number 2, Sophie Cochran. Number 9, Audrey Hager. Number 12, Gracie Marks. And number 15, Megan Sawyer.
Audrey Hager is number 9, a freshman midfielder who also plays some junior varsity, listed as number 13 on the JV roster, wearing 9 this evening for varsity. Hansen on the restart, and a nice job there immediately as she had that at her feet. You could hear the crowd mic picking up a teammate calling for it, Rachel, as they wanted to get her attention. And that allowed Valley to advance it, play it up the left side. This is headed out of bounds and will once again be Tiger ball. This is knocked past the defense of the Tigers, but they'll have no problem running back and tracking this one down. Doesn't stay in the field of play. And with 16:10 to go in regulation, a 4-0 lead for Valley. Starting netminder for Urbandale, Rebecca Krugler, in the first half. And Van Weingarten scoring twice. Johnson scoring once in the first half. Johnson on a penalty kick, converting for the Tigers' lone goal in the second half. Tigers don't look done. Keeping it in, turning the corner there was Gaffney. Tried a centering pass, broken up by the shin guard of the fullback. On the JV level, a similar result to this point of the contest particularly. I think they did get a couple in the last 15 minutes of play. That resulted in the end a 6-0 victory for the Tigers. Nice pass on for Goldstein as Spain advanced that ahead for Gaffney, and Gaffney just used her foot to redirect, but didn't really slow down that ball much. Right into the wheelhouse of Goldstein, defended well by Urbandale, and they'll look to counter. Left-footed clearance. That will roll into Tiger territory and out of bounds. Stopped by one of the coaching staff again for Valley, Rob Chapman, the head coach. Assistant coaches Adam Knighty, Lindsey Rasmussen, Nate Ortiz, and Sam Weeks. For Urbandale, Jason Eckhoff, father of senior Hannah Eckhoff, the head coach. Assistant coaches Jessica Schwery, Bonnie Larson, Brianna Montross. A little bit of pressure from the backside, but nothing that J.C. Lucky can't work through, and was still able to make the pass over. Settling down, they'll go inside. And now we're seeing Spain in a more offensive role as of late, although she will now head back and retreat. And she's got her eyes on Gracie Marks, who we had our eyes on in the pregame players to watch. And unfortunately for Marks, the issue has simply been hasn't had enough opportunities, as we have a corner kick brought in by West Des Moines Valley High School. A little bit of collision there, but no worse the wear is Gaffney. She'll feed that back. One-touch pass back to the feet of Gaffney, coming in quickly to try to break that up. And they do indeed get it out of bounds. Coming into tonight's contest, senior Gracie Marks with 4 goals on 6 shots on goal. And again, that's impressive considering that the Urbandale squad has played just 2 games prior to this evening's venture with Valley. Her squad has scored 10 on the season, all of them against Des Moines East, and Marks with 4 of them. Allison Turnez with the save. They'll get it ahead to Marks. Marks fights through some contact and got it ahead to Lumley. Here's a bouncing pass, brought down. Trying to cut it back is Pierce, and does. Feeds it ahead for Lumley. Lumley's shadowed beautifully by Spain. Just gave her no opportunity to breathe, and I take that. Yeah, it was indeed Lumley. For a moment, I was thinking that she was wearing a different numeral, but has basically been the F1 or forward that plays the furthest up typically, although she'll sometimes be spelled there by Marks. Missing on the pass was Pierce, and Valley uses that an opportunity. And a great play there by Kelsey Heller. As she cuts over, sees that that ball's trajectory is going to go out of bounds, so she doesn't want to play it herself. All she does is just run some interference, and that is legal in soccer. You're able to cut across somebody's path, not necessarily run into them, but you'll see that a lot where players will just walk the ball out of bounds. There, she didn't even do that. All she had to do is cut across the bow, and that gave Valley no opportunity to keep that in play. A little bit of a collision there. Thought we may have seen a call go against Spain, but with Urbandale with the throw-in, the officials will say play on, and it's still Jayhawk ball, and then a spin too many, as that one is inadvertently knocked out of bounds. The Valley squad will get a couple fresh bodies onto the field. Grace Olson stepping on. And I don't have a 12 on my roster. I believe this is Kira Billings for the Tigers. Out of bounds, and will be possession of the Tigers on the restart. Thrown in, and pinballs around. We've reached the 3/4 mark of the half, 9 minutes and 56 seconds now, to be precise, left in regulation. A little bit of a spill taken there, just inside the Tigers' half of the field. The Urbandale player pops back up. Seems no worse for the wear. Grace Olson will take that feed and feeds over to Goldstein. Knocked out of bounds, and we will have a throw-in deep in Urbandale territory. They trail 4-0, popped right back to Goldstein. She tries to go inside, and it kicks off of an Urbandale player, but still gets to the intended target. Now stepping up from a tough angle. Big save by the netminder, and another. Gabby Gaffney with a right-footed shot, and that looked as much to be self-defense as it was a save. Allison Turnez with the two-handed stop. Then it caromed off of a Urbandale Jayhawk, went right to a Valley Tiger who got a quick shot in tight. Remember, that's how the Valley squad got on the scoreboard initially. And again, Turnez is able to come up with a stop. Both teams looking to get number 14 onto the field at the next opportunity. Stein for Valley, Long for Urbandale. Spain with a little give and go. And just a little bit too much on that last touch as that one popped away. A collision here at midfield, and this is going to stop everything with 8:18 to play. As coming back was Mallory Goldstein, the sophomore, again with her first start of the season, and made a nice play there at midfield, but got a little bit too much of her opponent. I can't imagine that the Valley coaching staff is too upset with the call going against her. In fact, that wasn't even a call. It was rather for the player's safety. I thought initially from here that 20 played that perfectly, and there wasn't a call against her with the blown dead play. Thought that perhaps I had seen things differently than the official. But center referee Eric Kochneff agrees. And so a nice job there by Goldstein. I know that it's just at midfield, but wasn't much of a safety net behind her. That would have been a chance where if Urbandale had been able to win that, they would have been potentially off to the races. Goldstein clears that, even despite the fact that Lumley cutting back got a piece of it. You could hear the deflection. Into the feet of Hansen. Hansen gets it back, unable to maintain possession. Goldstein will run onto it. Nearly said skated onto it, as earlier this week on Tuesday had an opportunity to call the Buccaneers versus the Lincoln Stars, but been pretty happy for the most part. There's a diving save by the netminder. That ball cutting away from her, absolutely drilled by Grace Olson, and from downtown, 25 yards out, and diving over to her right, Turnez able to get just fingertips on it and push it wide. 7th corner kick of the game for West Des Moines, 3rd in the half. Urbandale's had just 2, both coming back in the opening 40 minutes. And there's a corner kick goal. It curls in from that right corner, and Valley extends their lead. They're on top by a score of 5-0. Goal came with about 7:15 left on the clock, and they let it run down a little bit. So officially, this one will go down at 72-56.
And in for Valley, number 19, Ava Stemler.
Grace Olson with the goal. Typically, we were seeing C.J. Johnson take those corner kicks, particularly on that side. But looks like Johnson, after getting 2 goals in the game, done for the evening, as Valley's starting to rest a lot of their high-end starters. And Grace Olson with her 3rd goal of the season adding to Van Weingarten's 8th and 9th and Johnson's 6th and 7th at the feet of Riley Anderson, and she will play it up the field. Chipped right back to Anderson. She traps that with her torso and upper thigh. Play on as one of the Urbandale players takes a spill. And we are down to 6 minutes left in regulation. Valley, with the cruise control on, they lead 5-0. Olsen, with her 3rd goal of the season, breaks a deadlock between herself and Emma Byrne for 3rd on the team. Van Weingarten leading the way, coming in tonight with 7 goals. She had the first 2. Then the second leading scorer, Johnson, who had 5, had a pair herself, including a penalty kick goal. And here's a ball played by the netminder, and Lombardi was running there stride for stride and helped out at the back end. A dangerous play, living on the edge, but Lombardi able to survive it. Goal kick on the way with 4:47 left, and Lombardi, a left-footed shot with the clearance. Brought back by Goldstein. Played up the right side. Running onto it is Heller. And scratch that, that was Anderson. Left-footed play out of bounds. Gaffney on the restart. There's some contact, but the official says play on. Pierce sets the table. Running onto it, a long opportunity. Last touched by Valley. And wasting no time, Urbandale wants to dial up the pressure. That will come back out center. Stepping through a couple of adversaries there was Long. And this will be whistled with 3.5 to play here from Valley Stadium. Will be a free kick. Ball set up at the 26-yard marker from the right hash. Struck well. Had some air under it and some velocity as well, but unable to find the target. Netminder Lombardi sets up. Southpaw's boot gets deflected there by Long and rolls out of bounds. Last touch by Urbandale. Overcast skies that are tough to see right now through the darkness, and a little bit chillier, but not much worse off than we started, down to 47 degrees here in West Des Moines. Urbandale plays it over to the right side. They have to be careful as as Valley applying the pressure. They get it to midfield. Quick one touch to the feet of Byrne, who sets it up for Gaffney from the right side. And trying to run on, unable to. From the right hash. Now they'll slide it over to the left side. A little bit too much off target was that pass. Played over to the right side to Gaffney. Gaffney cuts it across. It's loose for a moment and swept away just at the top of the 6-yard box. Nice job there by Turnez again. Comes up with a big stop and is aided by her defense. We've got a player down, and the clock will be stopped with 67 seconds left in regulation. So for Valley, they're going to move on to 5-1 on the season. They've got a road contest coming up on Tuesday versus Des Moines Roosevelt. Fort Dodge will come to Valley Stadium next Friday. Lucky will step into the game with 1:07 to play. Gabby Gaffney on the restart. Free kick awarded. Crosses into the box. Headed down by Urbandale. Struck! And a great reaction save. Kicked out by the right shin of the netminder, Turnez. Crossed as Olsen was offering that one up. A spin move. They'll connect over for 2. Sydney 2 feeds to the left side. And some contact there. .25 seconds left in this one, and one last opportunity for Valley. Right-footed cross. Struck and misses the target on the near side. And perhaps we'll have time to get the ball back in play. They will with 3 seconds left. Turned over, one last shot. And it's struck, and it finds the top corner of the net. However, soccer, a game where the shot needed to go in before the clock, unlike basketball, much like hockey. So a 5-0 score with that late goal not counting here for Valley. We will take a timeout, and we will be back with your post-game show. 5-0, Valley victorious over Urbandale. You've been watching girls soccer action on CISN.
That's the end of the game with the score. Valley 5, Urbandale 0.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Central Bank opened its doors in 1877 and has been proud to call Iowa home ever since. For more than a century, our family-owned business has worked hand in hand with friends and neighbors across the state to make their dreams a reality. Come visit us at our new location on Hickman and Waukee and see how Central Bank can make it happen for you.
Final here from Valley Stadium at Valley High School in West Des Moines, Iowa. The Valley Tigers victorious on the girls soccer pitch by a final of 5-0. There was a ball that was struck into the net in the closing seconds, but doesn't end up counting. So we will give you one last scoring summary. Valley built up a 3-0 lead in the first half. Anna Van Weingarten with her 8th of the season in the second minute And Van Weingarten again with her 9th in the 35th minute. Just a minute later in the 36th, C.J. Johnson would score to send us to the half with a 3-0 lead for the Tigers. In the second half, a penalty shot conversion by C.J. Johnson, her 7th of the season, and Grace Olson would add a goal. Johnson's in the 54th minute of action, and Olson's in the 73rd. So the Valley Tigers improved to 4-1 on the year. Urbandale falls to 1-2. We do have a score update from our other broadcast on CISN.TV. Dar Danielson with a call of that one, and a game that had just one goal. Julia Moore scores for Dowling Catholic, and they are victorious over Ankeny by a score of 1-0. We do want to remind everyone that we will have broadcasts coming up on Tuesday on the boys' side. We'll be back here. In fact, I'll have the call of Des Moines Roosevelt at Valley. And then we will also have Mason City traveling to Waukee. Those games can be seen and heard right here on CISN.TV on Tuesday night. So for myself, Eric Zamora, Randy Nielsen, our engineer and producer, our camera operator, Reese Webb, Pete Tarpey, and everyone here with the Central Iowa Sports Network, we thank you for tuning in. And one final time, Valley victorious at home over Urbandale by a score of 5-0. You've been watching girls soccer action on CISN. Have a fantastic evening.